You know, at nighttime, Adam and I will just lay down on the ground somewhere and we'll just go to sleep under the stars. And it's always a perfect temperature. Guys, over here. It's always a perfect temperature. You know, we're never cold and we're never too hot. And
I'm not too hot.
Shh, you be quiet now, okay? And when we lay down at nighttime, we don't have like stinging insects that come and sting us like mosquitoes or ants or anything. And we don't have to be afraid about fierce animals coming to hurt us. Like the tigers are all our friends. They like to cuddle with us. And nobody gets hurt. We never get hurt. Nobody is lonely. It's just so wonderful. And you know what else we really like to do? We like to talk to God when He comes and hangs out with us and walks in the garden with us and with the angels. Did you know the angels come and talk to us? They tell us stories, and it's just so wonderful. And I love just wandering through the garden. And you know in the garden, oh look at, this is one of the special trees God told us about. Do you see this tree here? And if you can imagine, there's a river that runs right over here. And on one side of the river, this tree has one trunk. And on the other side of the river, the tree has another trunk. So it's on each side of the river. But when you look at the top of it, the branches all come together and it's one tree. And the fruit is so amazing. It's this beautiful, kind of golden, shimmery fruit. And it smells so good and it tastes so good. And when we eat of it, it gives us energy. And when we eat of it, it gives us life. This is how we live forever. It's by eating this fruit. And it has a special name. Do you remember what the name is?
Poison.
No, it's a tree of
Life.
life. It's a tree of life. It's a special tree that God made here. And when God comes and hangs out with us, this is where He meets us. He meets us by this tree. And we get to walk around the garden with Him and talk with Him and just have wonderful conversations with God. I just love being here. And oh, look at this tree. Isn't that a pretty tree? Wow, I've never really seen this tree before. But look at its leaves are really pretty. And its branches, oh, and look at that fruit. That fruit looks really yummy, doesn't it? I wonder, maybe I should pick some of the fruit and take it back to Adam. And wait, you know what? I think this is the other tree that God told us about. God told us that there was an enemy who would try to get us to follow Him. But He said that the enemy was only able to be at that tree. He couldn't be all around the garden. And so we probably shouldn't go too close to the tree. So God told us we can eat of any fruit in the garden except for this one tree. He told us if we choose to eat the fruit, that means that we don't trust God and we choose to follow the enemy. That means if we follow the enemy, we would die. Because who is the giver of life?
God.
God is. And if we don't follow God, if we choose to reject God, then we will die. Do you guys know what the tree's name was? The tree of knowledge of good and evil. Yeah, that's the tree God was talking about. And you know the angels, when they come and visit us, they told us about this enemy. His name is Satan. And they told us how he was an angel in heaven. Did you guys learn about that? About what was his name?
Satan.
But before that, didn't he have another name?
Lucifer.
Lucifer. And he was a beautiful, shiny angel, really smart. But then he decided not to follow God. And he rejected God. And he had to be kicked out of heaven. And they said that this is a place where he can come and tempt us. And they told us that we should not go near the tree and we should stay with each other. That way, Adam can help me and I can help Adam to say no to Satan if he tries to tempt us. Where is Adam? I guess I kind of wandered away from him. I wonder where I left him. So anyways, God told me not to come near this tree, so I should probably, but he made it sound like it was a scary tree, but it doesn't really look very scary, does it? I mean, this has a little yummy looking fruit. And I don't see any yucky, old, ugly enemy. I mean, I think I would be able to spot Satan. I bet he's really ugly and everything. But, oh, look at what's moving over here. It's a snake. Oh, I love snakes. You see how pretty it is? Snakes are so colorful. And you know that in the Garden of Eden, they have wings and they can fly around. And look at him. He's touching the tree, isn't he? Is he dying? Is he dead? No, he looks perfectly fine. So, why would God not let me eat of the fruit? I mean, is he trying to keep me away from having some yummy fruit?
Actually, this fruit is so yummy.
It sure looks like it.
Oh, yes. But as you were just saying, God said you couldn't eat from any tree in the garden.
Yeah, no, wait. No, God said we couldn't eat just from this one tree.
Oh, silly me. I must have misheard him. Now, that seems rather random, though, holding back just one tree from you. Oh, but I'm sure God gave you a good reason.
Yeah, it was, oh yeah, if we touch of the fruit or if we eat it, then we'll die.
Oh, I see. Quick question, lovely lady. Am I in this tree?
Duh.
Mm-hmm. And am I touching the fruit of the tree? Get in here, fruit. See? Look, am I touching it?
Well, yeah.
Ah, and have I eaten the fruit of the tree?
I don't know, have you?
Have I? Oh, Eve, why do you think I'm able to talk?
That's true. None of the other animals talk, but you talk.
Exactly, because I just flew up here and I snacked on one of these luscious fruits. And presto, I can speak.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yes.
But God said that we'd die if we
Oh,
eat of this
no, Eve, shh. Don't you already eat of that other special tree? The one over there, the tree of life?
Oh, yeah, we
Yes.
eat of that fruit.
And doesn't it make you live forever? So, even if you eat from this tree, you can't die.
Oh. I never really thought about it that way.
That's my point. You haven't thought because you don't have knowledge, Eve. You need some knowledge. And that's what this tree can give you. Come on. Try some of this fruit. Let me get you some.
Well, wait. The angels warned us about something about this tree. No, someone, I should say. They warned us about this fallen angel, Satan. He's supposed to be really scary. And I don't
Pish
know.
posh, Eve. It's just little old Snaky here. No scary fallen angels. Come on. Let me get you some of this fruit.
But God said not to do it, and He loves me.
Yes. Oh, does he really? Eve, listen. If you love somebody,
Yeah.
don't you share everything you have with them?
Well, yeah, I share everything with Adam.
Well, God doesn't want to share this one silly little tree with you. That sounds pretty selfish. It sounds pretty sneaky. What's he trying to hide?
Oh, yeah. I never really thought about that. What is God trying to hide? Can I not trust God? If He really loved me, He wouldn't keep things away from me. Maybe I need to start looking out for myself in case God can't be trusted.
Yes, that's just a second. Look, my mouth's full. Hey, here, Eve, I have an idea. Just a little experiment. Listen, why don't you just touch one of these fruits right over here? I'll get it for you. See? And then you can just take this one like this, and look, I'm touching it. I'm not dead. See? You touch it, you don't die, then God's lying.
Yeah, I'm not dead.
That's right.
That,
See? You're
that,
touching it, you're not dead.
that makes Santa, I'm starting to even talk like you now.
That's because we're such good friends now, Eve. Now look, you touch it, you're not dead, so eat it. You'll see how delicious it tastes.
Okay.
Just a little professional tip. It'll be a lot more tasty if you peel it first.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
I have so much to learn. Still, I'm glad you're watching out for me, Snake.
Oh, yes, Eve. I'm always watching out for you. I've been watching out for you. So you don't need to worry about your old pal Snakey. I'll always be here for you.
Wow, this smells really good.
Mm-hmm. And are you dead?
No.
No.
Okay.
Do you feel different?
Well, let me eat a piece here.
Check it out.
That's really good.
Yes.
I'm not dead.
No.
And I feel. I think I feel smarter.
Yes, Eve, that's the point. You're smarter now. You're wiser than God. Nobody can tell you what to do now because you're smart enough to decide for yourself.
Oh, maybe I should bring some to Adam.
Yes. Oh, that's a good plan. You don't want to be selfish.
Yeah, let me
Don't
grab a
keep the
couple
good
here.
stuff back. That's right. Just pick a few more off the tree
All right.
there, Eve. Yes, that's right.
Thanks, Snake.
Oh, you're welcome. Take all you want. You can come back anytime. I'll always have some tasty treats for you. Bye.
So, what do you guys think? So, first of all,
That
Eve.
was funny.
It was funny, yeah.
Because he was talking.
Yeah. So Eve was wandering around the garden. Was she alone or was she with Adam? She was alone. And what had the angels and God warned her? Had they told her to wander around alone? No. So that's one thing she should have really stuck with Adam, right? Instead of wandering alone. And when she came up to the tree and she remembered what it was, what should she have done? Walked away right away, right? She would have been like, oh wait, it's a tree. Run away! Right? Really far away and go find Adam. But instead she stayed there and she started looking at the fruit and thinking about it more and more. And that's how kind of sin and temptation work, right? When you get tempted by Satan, maybe he tells you, go eat that cookie over there. And your mom has told you no. What should you do? You should turn around and run away as far as you can. But sometimes what do? We start kind of thinking about it, right? Ooh, that cookie would taste so good. I'll just eat a little. I'll just smell it, right? Instead of running away from temptation. Well, that's what Eve did. She stayed there and she continued thinking about it. And then the snake started talking to her. And what should she have definitely done at that point? Ran away, right? But she stayed and she started talking to the snake. Now, do you know who was making the snake talk? Who do you think?
Satan.
It was Satan. Satan was there. He was being sneaky. Do you think if Satan had come out and had started talking to Eve, Eve would have probably ran away? Because she'd been warned about him? But instead, he was sneaky. And so Eve stayed there. Eve stayed there and listened to him talk. And what was Satan trying to get her to think about?
Temptation.
Temptation, yeah. But he was trying to make her not trust God, right? He was telling her what? God is thinking about who? Is God thinking about Eve or God thinking about himself? Himself. That's what Satan was saying. God is looking out for himself. He's selfish. Is God selfish?
No.
No, that's a lie that Satan likes to make us believe. And he was saying that God is trying to keep something away from Eve. Was that true? No. God had given her how much of the garden? The whole thing. All of it. Except for one tree. Because he wanted to give her freedom of choice to choose if she wanted to follow God or to follow Satan. Had he given her a really hard test? It wasn't really hard, was it? She just had to not eat the fruit. That's it. It wasn't something that was really hard. Come on, Abby, you can sit right over here. It wasn't a really hard test, right? But Satan was trying to get her to not trust God. So before she even took the fruit, was she not trusting God? She was not trusting God, right? Satan had made her believe a lie, that God was watching out for himself and that he couldn't be trusted. And that's why Eve ended up taking the fruit and eating it. Do you think that God knew what was going on?
Yes.
Yes. That doesn't matter right now. Yes, God knew what was going on. Do you think he was happy about it or was he sad?
Sad.
He was so sad. I bet he was crying. Eve had chosen to not believe him and not trust him, and she had chosen to believe Satan and to follow him. And now Eve would start to die, right? Yeah, even though Satan was telling her a lie. Satan was hoping that God would let her continue to eat of the tree of life so that she would be sinning forever. But God couldn't allow that. So next week we'll find out what happens when she goes and presents the fruit to Adam, okay? So I want you to think about this week. Remember Eve? We'll talk more about that, okay? Well, remember Eve, and when you come to temptation, when Satan tempts you to do something, you can think about Eve and how she should have what?
Not
Run away from the temptation.